In this video, I want to talk about collecting deposits in your landscaping business. What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas, and on this channel, we talk about taking your landscape business from startup, if you're just getting started, up to 100 grand a year in revenue. Now, how much is your average job? Ours this year is about 2,500 to 3 grand. Although we do jobs from $3, $5, $7, $10, $12, $15, $20,000, it's always very important and it's crucial to get a deposit. Now, we collect a deposit on anything over $1,000. I say it verbally, and it's explicitly written in the contract. And the customer is notified, of course, upon signature and signing a proposal that a deposit is necessary, and we call it a good faith deposit. And I'm going to talk about why it's so important to have this, because there's many different reasons, and I'll simplify this for you. But you know, for me, it's anything above $1,000, right? Because that's where I feel I'm starting to take a risk. Some people, and let me know in the comments below, want a 50% deposit down. That's okay, I do that sometimes, but for me it's a minimum of a 33% good faith materials deposit. If I'm doing a $15,000 job, I want to get a check for 5 grand and a signature upon at least the morning that we're starting the job. Here's the way the 33% works. Halfway through the job, at a point when a significant amount of work has got done, you do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whatever you do. So here's the most important reason why. It's to protect yourself. It's so you're not taking on so much risk. And not only for those reasons, but emotionally as well. You know, unless you've got a huge bank account and you just like to operate your business that way. I have a friend who has a business where he covers 100% of all the expenses up front of every single job. And he has been ripped off for like $50,000. And not only is it the 50 grand that he got ripped off, it's all the opportunity costs that his crew could have been on a different job actually making money. So the emotional side of it is, if you're halfway through a job and you haven't even collected a deposit, or maybe you're too scared to ask the customer for a deposit, you can start getting paranoid or panicky. So there's two sides to this. One side is you can get paranoid or panicky, which is, it's very real. And some people might say, well, if you're panicky or paranoid over a $5,000 job, you shouldn't be in business, dog. People say all this stupid stuff. I say get in where you fit in. Get in at what level's comfortable to you. If you start to get paranoid or panicky, or you get stressed out in the middle of a job and you start thinking thoughts like, oh my God, what if this customer doesn't pay me? What if they have a family emergency and all of a sudden I get stiffed? What if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? I've literally been in the middle of a $17,000 job before, halfway through the job, and I literally went into like a panic mode and I had to hide it and talk myself out of it. And so the deposit calms all that down. And also on the customer side, my mentor who helped me start my landscape business, he just gave me advice. He said, Dave, I've talked about Dave before. He talks about you having them under the barrel or them having you under the barrel. It's kind of a malicious metaphor, which I don't really mean anything when I say that. But what it means is, he taught me this thing. He's like, if the customer feels like they have you under the barrel, you don't have any of their money, they almost have no risk. So sometimes they might feel like they can start to pull your strings, and sorry to say it like this, because for the most part, most customers are great people. They want to trust you, they want you to do a good job, and they want to pay you, and they're happy to pay you, and they want to hire you again and again. They want to find a great, reliable landscaper and refer you to their friends and family, and they feel good about that. But sometimes, if a customer doesn't feel any risk, and you're the one that has everything on the line, things can get funny really, really quick. If you've got a deposit, and you've got a percentage of the money, provided that you're doing a great job and you know what you're doing and you were doing everything you said you were going to do, you know, provided that you were a good contractor, it just kind of evens the playing field. You know, I've done a landscape job one time, and good thing I got deposits along the way. 33% in the beginning, 33% in the middle, final payment 33% upon completion and the customer's happy, and a signature. Every single time you do this, you collect a deposit. You also collect a signature from the customer, and you send them a receipt saying, we've collected this deposit in the form of a check or cash or whatever towards the balance. Here's your remaining balance. Here's a little trick if you're afraid to ask for a deposit. You might be scared, right? You don't have to admit it. I've been scared. I say, okay, this is the way we do this. Any job over $1,000, I require a 50% good faith deposit or 33% good faith deposit. And the customer says, well, I don't want to give you a deposit now. You're not going to do the job for 2 weeks. How do I know if you disappear? Say, no, this is the way I do it. The morning of the job, when I show up, I start doing the work, and now I'm actually there, and you see that I'm legit, and you see that the work's getting done, and you get that warm fuzzy feeling. That's when you come out and you give me a check and, you know, give me a signature, and that's when I get the deposit. Say, okay. You say, is that fair, Bob? They're like, well, how? I mean, that's totally fair, right? Because they called you. You got to get paid. So no, they don't have to give you the deposit check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. But there is some cases, like me, I get booked out 2 months in advance. Customers have to wait, and at a certain point, I tell the customer, if you want to get on my schedule, I have a lot of people competing for this space. I need $100, a $100 scheduling deposit. So, you know, take it off the price of your job, but it's a $100 non-refundable deposit that locks your place in my calendar. Why? Because if a customer books you for 6 weeks out, they might really actually be just using you as a placeholder. Well, at least they got you booked for 6 weeks out, so now they can spend their time looking for somebody who can do it sooner, faster, or cheaper. So then they can call you up and say, oh, by the way, I know we got you scheduled for next week, but we don't need you anyways because we found somebody else. This has happened to me so many times. It literally just happened to me a week and a half ago. I've had a customer book for 6 weeks. They used me as a backup plan, as a plan B, and I totally get it. I understand it. But if you got their $100, then that protects you, so you have a full schedule. If you have employees and payroll and you have a very tight schedule, that one person, it could be a $10,000 job. If all of a sudden they just bounce and they're not on your calendar anymore and you're scrambling to fix that space, that could be hurting your brand. That could be hurting you all because of a customer. So I do this, my contracts, collect deposits and signatures and everything all inside of Jobber software right on my smart device. If you want to trial Jobber, you can get a totally free trial at getjobber.com/Keith. I also put a link in the description below. I don't know how I'd run my business without Jobber. There's plenty of softwares out there and there's a lot of good ones. I use Jobber and it works great, and I don't have any reason to go anywhere else because it works great. Getjobber.com/Keith. Type it in your browser and get a totally free trial, and if you decide to sign up at the end of the trial, you get 20% off your first 6 months, which is a huge savings if you use my link.